This message is for all awakening Hebrew Israelites, and it's titled, Hebrew Israelites, just wait and see until Yah becomes zealous for you again. Let's look at Zechariah chapter 8 verse 2, and there it is written, this is what Yahuwah of armies says, I will be zealous for Zion with a great zeal, and with a great wrath I will be zealous for her. At Joel chapter 2 verse 18 and 19, it is written, then Yahuwah will be zealous for his land and show compassion on his people. Yahuwah will answer his people, here I am sending to you grains and new wine and oil, and you will be fully satisfied. I will no longer make you a reproach among the nations. At Zechariah chapter 1 verse 14 and 15, it is written, then the angel who was speaking with me told me, call out, this is what Yahuwah of armies says, I am zealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great zeal. With great indignation I am indignant with the nations that are at ease, because I felt indignant to a small extent, but they added to the calamity. Yes, Yahuwah's promise is that at the end of the punishment and correction time on Israel, he will be filled with a great zeal for his people. Just like one is filled with a zeal when he wants something that belongs to him back. At the same time, he will also be filled with wrath for any who will try to come against his inheritance, Israel. He said that he became angry with Israel, but the nations took it too far with all their mistreatment of his people. So what will our fathers being zealous for his people mean? Well, consider Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. There it is written, I will go away and return to my place until they bear the consequences of their guilt, and then they will seek my favor. When they are in distress, they will seek me. Consider Hosea chapter 6 verse 1 and 2. It is written, come and let us return to Yahuwah, for he has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He struck us, but he will bind our wounds. He will revive us after 2 days. On the third day, he will raise us up, and we will live before him. Yes, Israel was abandoned by their God, but Israel will be comforted in a great way by Yahuwah. Israel suffered for 2,000 years without Yah's protection, but in 1,000 years Yah will restore her glory better than as it was in the past. So again, what will Yah being zealous for his people mean? Consider Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1 to 3. There it is written, "For Yahuwah will show mercy to Jacob, and he will again choose Israel. He will settle them in their land, and the foreign residents will join them and attach themselves to the house of Jacob. And people will take them and bring them to their own place. And the house of Israel will possess them as male and female servants in Jehovah's land. And they will be captors of those who held them captive. And they will have in subjection those who were forcing them to work. In the day when Yahuwah gives you rest from your pain and from your tumors and from the hard slavery imposed on you." Zechariah chapter 8 verse 3, it is written, "This is what Yahuwah says, I will return to Zion and reside in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem will be called the city of truth, and the mountain of Yahuwah of armies, the holy mountain." So when Jehovah said, "Become zealous for his people again," he will choose them and he will gather them back, and he will restore them. He will show them mercy, and he will settle them back in their land. And he will even turn those who have been held in them captive to become their slaves. Yes, he will do this because he will become zealous for his people. Again, consider Matthew chapter 1 verse 23. There it is written, "Look, a virgin will become pregnant and will give birth to a son, and they will name him Emmanuel," which means, when translated, "with us is God." With that, I heard Revelation chapter 21 verse 3 and 4. It reads, "With that I heard a loud voice from the throne say, Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them, and he will wipe out every tears from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away." Yes, when Yahuwah becomes zealous again for his people, he will reside with his people. He promised that he will return, just like he promised in Hosea chapter 5 verse 15 that he's going to leave Israel alone, abandoned for a little time. In Zechariah, he promised that he's going to return back to Jerusalem, and he's going to show mercy to his people again, and he's going to gather them back. And this is at the end of Israel's punishment. Again, consider what Yahuwah's zeal for his people will mean. Zechariah chapter 8 verse 14 and 15, there it is written, "For this is what Yahuwah of armies says, just as I had determined to bring calamity on you, because your forefathers made me indignant, says Yahuwah of armies, and I felt no regret. So at this time I have determined to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Do not be afraid." Hosea chapter 6 verse 2 and 3 reads, He will revive us after 2 days. On the third day, He will raise us up, and we will live before Him. We will earnestly seek to know Jehovah. His going out is as certain as the dawn. He will come to us like a pouring rain, like a spring rain that saturates the earth. Yes, when it's time for Yahuwah to return and reclaim His people, just as He was determined and brought calamity and punishment on the nation of Israel, even so He promised that He will be determined to do good to Jerusalem and to Judah without regret, until Israel stands on the third day. So just wait until Yah becomes zealous for His people again. Wait and see what great things He will do for you, O awakening Hebrew Israelites. But what will being zealous for His people mean for His enemies? Well, consider this. Isaiah chapter 54 verse 17. There it is written, If anyone should attack you, it will not be at my orders. Whoever makes an attack on you will fall because of you. No weapon formed against you will have any success, and you will condemn any tongue that rise up against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahuwah, and their righteousness is from me, declares Yahuwah. At Isaiah chapter 41 verse 11 and 12, there it is written, Look, all those getting enraged against you will be put to shame and humiliated. Those who fight with you will be brought to nothing and perish. You will search for the men who struggle with you, but you will not find them. The men at war with you will become as something non-existent, as nothing at all. Finally, Obadiah chapter 2, Obadiah verse 2 reads, Say, Look, I have made you insignificant among the nations. You are utterly despised. Yes, Esau is an example of the men who were indignant at Jacob because of the blessings that he received from Yah. But the Messiah said, Esau He has made insignificant. He will become as nothing. So all the men who hated and fought against Israel will become as nothing, non-existence. And a good example is Esau or Edom, and all the people with him, whom Yah said will become insignificant among the nations. So they are like walking dead, non-existent. When the time comes to show favor to Zion, so Israel, just be patient. Just wait on Yah. Just seek for His face. Seek for His forgiveness. Seek for His mercy. Endure your punishment until the end. And wait until Yah becomes zealous for His people again. And see what great things our God will do for His people. He said the men that fought against us will become as nothing. that no weapon that will be formed against us will ever succeed. Just wait until Yah returns and become with zeal for his people. It will be a great day when our God returns to reclaim what belongs to him. Because all the nations that have fought against us will become as nothing, non-existence. So Israel, rejoice in your God, seek his face, keep his commandments, wait until our God becomes zealous for his people again, and see the glory and the great things that he will do for those who are his inheritance. Until next lesson, may you all remain blessed, and may you continue to pray for the restoration of Jacob.